What's up, everybody? It's your boy Trey TG coming at y'all with my first ever YouTube video, man. I'm excited to be doing this. Basically just talking about my weight loss transformation and some tips and tricks that I learned along the way that you guys can take this information and that whatever fits you, tailor it to your lifestyle and everything. First off, I'm not quite yet a fitness professional, I wouldn't say. I do have my certification as a fitness coach from ISSA. I'm still learning, and I'm also currently in school getting my bachelor's degree in nutrition from Purdue Global University, so I'm working on that as well. So yeah, quick disclaimer on that. So in this video, I'm just basically talking about how I lost over 80 plus pounds, just talk about my journey a little bit, show you guys some of the things I went through and why I did it, and had to lose the weight and my reasons for wanting to lose this amount of weight. So growing up, man, pretty much all my life I've been considered overweight, fat, whatever people want to say, you know. Always inspired and dreamed of having a nice, desirable looking body, abs, V-line, whatever you want to call it, you know. I think the body that every man or woman would dream of having. Yeah, but I wasn't necessarily blessed with none of that. I had to work for it. So not only just have a great looking body, but to also improve my self-confidence, to better myself, you know. Growing up, you know, in my early teens, I did play football. I participated in football for a couple years, and I was thinking that just doing the training and stuff that I was doing with football would just magically correlate, and I would achieve the body I was so desirably looking for. But at that time, I didn't know anything about the nutrition portion of it, like portion control, properly training, just all the aspects that go into achieving that desirable body, right? I developed my foundation when I decided to join the military, and at the time school wasn't cutting out for me. I had just graduated, and a friend was telling me about the military. I was like, yeah, I'm interested, because I was like, I can achieve and earn my college while I'm in the military, this, that, and not just that, but it was multiple things that made me decide that I wanted to join. Obviously at that time, I'm probably around 250 pounds, somewhere close to that, if not to my height, which I'm only 5'9.5", 5'10". It's not gonna cut it in any branch of the military. So for those that don't know, you have to meet certain height and weight requirements in order to enlist into the military, whether it be the Army, Coast Guard, Navy, Air Force. At that time, I had to develop a plan of action needed to be for my height, and I think 190 pounds. And eventually, the road ahead was gonna be a tough and long journey, but I was willing to do it and get out of the situation I was in my life currently, because at that time I was working 2 jobs, working at Food Line, Walgreens, and you know, the money obviously wasn't the best either. I was just working and trying to make as much money as I could until I figured out what I was gonna do with my life, with my career, so on. And so I found out the amount of weight I had to lose. I figured I tried some of these fad diets, right? Obviously that's a no-go, because one of them I did was the military diet. I don't know if y'all know, but pretty much it's just restricting you of a lot of calories, so you're only consuming a certain amount, and meals consisted of like a hot dog without the bun and like a can of carrots, and then like for breakfast it was like an apple and like maybe a banana, and then that was it. So doing that and then going to work and trying to work out as well, the weight was dropping, but it was an unhealthy way to do it, and I pretty much got sick trying to do that, and it was like extremely uncomfortable. I wouldn't recommend doing that. Please don't try that. Don't do it. What seemed to start working for me around that time was just At that time, I was just eating normally and portioning my meals, eating smaller meals, but I hadn't really a very, very good diet, but I was starting to see a little bit of progress, right? I started getting into the training aspect of it. In the military, you have to run, you have your 2-mile run. At that time, because it was late 2014, mid to late 2014, 2015, when all this started, right? And at that time, you had the APFT, which consisted of the 2-minute push-ups, sit-ups, and a 2-mile run. And on these 2-mile runs, you had to do it in a certain amount of time or you would fail it, right? Alongside of the height and weight requirements that the Army has specifically, and all the other branches as well. I decided to develop a training regimen that evolved around the Army fitness test at the time. So I would try to do as many push-ups, sit-ups as I could, and also try to run as much as I could, because at that time, up until that point, aside from football, like running past a certain amount of minutes, I was not doing that. So I had to develop a tolerance to be able to run for longer durations, because that was something that my body and my mind wasn't used to. And when I first started out, real talk, I was running, I couldn't even run a full lap around the local YMCA. So we all got to start somewhere. So how I would have to do it was I would run as much as I could, then walk, run as much as I could, then walk. And then eventually I was able to build up enough tolerance to be able to run consistently. So now I can run 4 laps, which is a mile. And then it got to the point where I could run a little bit more, so I can get up to that 2 mile. But at that time, my time wasn't exactly where I needed to be, but I was making those strides and improvements to get my time down and to be able to run for a longer duration. Passed, and I eventually got to my goal weight. I got down from 250 pounds to 184 pounds at my lowest at that time. It was about late 2015. Originally I wanted to do Air Force, but I didn't have the scores. So for some reason I kept studying, and I just didn't score high enough for the Air Force. So it got to the point where I was like, hey, I'm gonna talk to an Army recruiter and I'm gonna see what happens, right? So fast forward, you know, I'm in the Army. Most of the branches in the military will offer me, I could achieve some of the same goals that I had for the Air Force. It's just different branches that have different ways of doing things, but essentially all do the same thing. Once I was able to actually join and get into the military, right, I didn't have that body that I really wanted, but I noticed how far I had came, right? Really, in my military career, after my first deployment, I come back, me and my wife get married, picked up a lot of weight, so I picked up my weight back a little bit over 220 pounds, and I was failing because you not only have to do these physical assessments to join the military, but you also have to do it while you're in the military. You have to pass it twice out of the year, height and weight, and the ACF, well, now ACFT, but at the time APFT. And during that time, I was not meeting those requirements because I was pretty much, long story short, I was out of shape. I don't know what it was, I just wasn't on it like I needed to be on it, right? What really triggered it for me was when it got time for me to go to my first promotion board from E4 to E5. I failed the promotion board the first time. When it comes back for me to go again, in the midst of, after failing the promotion board, I didn't pass the run on my PT test. It made me get flagged. And when you're flagged in the military, the only rights you have are to go on leave, and that's it. You can't go to any schools, any military schools. You can't do college, tuition assistance, pretty much anything to progress your career. When you're flagged, you can't do that stuff, right? So I was pretty much getting in my own way. at that time. So that's when I'm back at the drawing board again. I'm like, there's no way in hell in the freaking run, the sit-ups, anything that I have to do that I can control, I'm gonna be on top of my stuff and take care of it, right? To up the ante on running and trying to maintain and eat a proper diet. I'm looking at it more. I'm learning more about my body and trying to eat the right things and focus on what I need to focus on in order to never fail these assessments again. With the training, right? How I was able to get my run time down was running on a treadmill. So treadmill does, essentially it says burns calories, but it's also improves your stride length. The good things I like about the treadmill is that you can set your settings higher, so you can run at a speed and maintain that speed, so your body can get used to running at the speed you need to run at. So this helped me when it came to, oh, I need to get the 2 mile time in 16 and a half minutes. And I wasn't getting that. A lot of my 2 mile times was freaking 18 minutes, a little bit over 18 minutes, 17 and a half minutes. And for my age and everything at the time, that's why I was failing, right? I was always failing to run. Put some sit-ups I could knock out, but I was always failing to run. Got foundation a little bit from when I first started, you know, running, mixing in those outside runs with the treadmill runs. That's what really allowed me to be able to maintain and keep my run time down. I was running, and then it got to a point where I started to run a little bit more. I was really running every day. I don't recommend doing it every day unless you feel the need to. You just listen to your body. But I'm just telling you guys what I did, everything that I did every day, and stand on top of my diet as much as possible. I was able to meet the requirements that I needed to meet because of that training regimen, and I was able to get unflagged and to progress my career, get my promotional status, all those things. Right? Fast forward again, I'm on my second deployment. I'm maintaining my weight, but again, my body wasn't what I wanted it to be. So I figured I had to up the ante even more and to continue to progress and add more to the training regimen, but also focus more on the nutrition side of things and to learn my body even more to achieve the body that I was desiring to get. I look back during those deployment days, I started to implement more of a strength training regimen. So rewind back a little bit, I didn't strength train as much when I was first starting with this whole journey. Aside from what I did in football, we did strength train, but like I said at that time, the knowledge was very, very minimal. Look back to this second deployment time frame. That's when I started tracking my macros and my calories through MyFitnessPal. Calories around 22 to 2300. On top of that, I was doing my runs, and then at another part of the day, I would do some type of strength training. Still learning to this day, even though that was almost 3-4 years ago, but I built off of that time frame to where I am now. The meals at the time, they all came from the DFAC, so I would try to eat some form of protein as much as possible with every meal, and some form of carbs and some form of vegetables. That calorie range, and I was also starting to implement a protein shake, and I would also throw a cheat meal in there maybe 1 or 2 days out the week. And I always feel like you should eat to sustain and not to get full. So like whenever you're eating, don't pig out every time you eat. Just eat enough, and then you're like, all right, I'm good. I have enough energy from my calories, and I can move on and do whatever I need to do. I also was able to develop a good relationship with food as well, and to that point where I'm not trying to starve myself, but I can eat a balanced diet. Having that good relationship with food on this journey, it doesn't mean you can't have the things and the foods that you enjoy. You just have to be smart with it. So every meal that you eat can't come from McDonald's, Burger King, whatever might be your fix. Every meal can't be that, but every now and again you can say, hey, I want a burger from here, or I want to eat here. And you may want to have a pizza or something. Like, it's okay. Like, just having that relationship, that good relationship with food, and as long as you're not doing that constantly, then you'll be just fine. Also, around this time, I would trying to get as much sleep as I possibly could, trying to increase my water take as much as possible, because the health benefits of water, in the joints, so many benefits that come with water, and just hydrating yourself. Because when you working out and the more intense workouts you're dehydrating yourself. So you have to put that water back into you, good, up and running, right? I started to track my macros. That was the real game changer for me. That's when I started tracking my macros and adding a strength training regimen. Was the two biggest things that helped me along this process to get the body that I wanted. And this is that got me to my lowest weight, which was about 166 pounds. And that was the lightest I ever been in my entire life. And I had finally achieved what I so desired. And when I always look back on it, just knowing where I started this journey, I couldn't even run around the freaking Y. I couldn't even run a lap. And once I was able to run and maintain a run, I could only do it in this amount of time. But then eventually I was able to get the run time down. So it's like every time it was a goal, it was a new plateau I had to reach, I was able to do it and get better and better each time. My 2 mile time down is down to about 14 and a half minutes. I'm trying to get that down even more. That's another goal of mine, but I'm also able to do different 10 milers I've participated in, and I participated in half marathons. I've been able to run all those distances on my own, and just from doing these little things every day over the years, and it just adds up, and you're able to have that connection in your mind and your body, and you can tell yourself like, hey, I can do this. Like, if I have a goal in mind, I'm gonna set the goal, and then I'm gonna take all the necessary steps in order to reach that goal and achieve the goal. That's why I've felt so inspired to do this video, to be able to show you guys that whatever goals that you have for yourself, you are able to reach them, and you can reach them and achieve them, whatever it is. If it's even if it's not a physical goal, it may be an educational goal, or it might be a goal pertaining to whatever it is outside of just not only just working out or a physical goal. Whatever it is, you can do it, guys. And I just hope that y'all are able to take this and just tailor it to your needs, and to just see that I just want to be shown that it could be done, because it was a lot of periods during those couple of years that I felt like it couldn't be done, and I was able to do it. Obviously with the help of God, putting God first, and learning my body and understanding what my body needs, and proper training, nutrition, all these things tie in together. And then over the days, over the years, it just adds up. Get it. Starting back in late 2014, I was about 18 years old, and it took me until I was about 23, 24 before I could start seeing that progress in that body that I always wanted. So if you think about it, that's 6 to 7 years of just work. You know, it's not an overnight process. So that's another thing too. Don't kill your don't beat yourself up. Like, whatever it is, like, it's gonna happen, right? Don't beat yourself up about it. Just always take those mental notes every day, and then just go from there. Just keep pushing forward. That's all it takes. Just everyday consistency, being persistent, doing those same things every day, and then eventually it'll lead up to what you're looking for. So with that being said, guys, I mean, just stay on it. Just be persistent. Keep praying. Keep tackling it and being patient, and it will happen, guys. That being said, this is my first ever YouTube video. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Any questions you have, please let me know in the comment section. Any video ideas, anything y'all may have, I do my best I can to assist you, and we go from there. But that's all I got, guys. Peace.